We continue now with our discussion with the two candidates on the ballot for Dane County Executive. Next up, the incumbent, Joe Parisi, who has been county executive since 2011. What makes you want to come back for 4 more?
I feel like this job is, I really feel blessed to have it. You know, at the end of the day, what I want to be able to do is make a difference in people's lives. And being county executive affords me the opportunity to do that on so many levels. Our natural resources and our parks and open spaces. And then there's the side of this job that we've experienced over the past year. And that's when there are natural disasters that there have been in the past, floods, blizzards, tornadoes, and then, you know, something none of us saw coming around the corner, which was the pandemic and being smack dab in the middle of that response.
How tough is this challenge going to be as we hope we're at the end of it, right? We don't really know for sure, but we sure hope we are.
So now we're entering the space where it's time to heal and recover and move forward. And I'm really proud of how we've come together as a community to make it through the year of the pandemic. And I see that same coming together occurring as we speak right now, as we're looking at moving forward in the next few months, as we continue to reopen our economy, as we look to help our local businesses and folks who are still going to be struggling for a while. You know, it's not going to be over overnight. I mean, right now, we're doing a great job on the vaccine front. The virus is in a good place. We obviously still have to be careful for another couple of months just to make sure we maintain that progress, because not only is that best for the health of our community, but that's our key to continuing to reopen. So I see it being a challenge, but I see the healthcare community, government, the business community, community-based organizations all coming together to chart this path forward.
Schools, of course, have been an issue. I'm a parent of 2 students myself. I mean, that's something that has frustrated a lot of people. And your opponent has said that Dane County, what was the term, has seen fit to control our schools. What has your role been in terms of working with our school districts over the last year?
Yeah, so as far as the decision to remain open or to remain closed and then gradually come back open, the county's been out of that decision-making process since September. The Supreme Court took it away from us. So the decision-making power has lied with school districts. And that's why you see various school districts at different rates. Part of our main role with the schools has been early on, you know, time over the last year. It's kind of hard to recall. It's been months ago. I got together with the school superintendents because we have a long-standing partnership with our schools. I meet with the Dane County superintendents regularly. And over the past few years, we've built a program called Building Bridges, in which the county partners with school districts to place mental health teams in our schools so that if a young person is having a mental health challenge, there's help available there in the schools for them and their families. And so we knew early on that young people were going to be experiencing even more challenges because of being isolated. And then when they start to come back and all the problems that all parents are seeing now. And so we have a partnership with our schools where we are working on trying to get federal dollars to come in and bolster those services so that we can focus on reintegrating and helping young people come back to school.
You said back in November when you announced you were running for re-election that there really wasn't a strong coordinated effort between the federal, state, and local municipalities and county governments. Has that changed maybe since January 20th?
Yeah, on the state level, unfortunately, it's still pretty dysfunctional. You know, the Republican legislature at every turn tries to take away the governor's ability to enact policy to help people. On the federal level, it's gotten much better. With President Biden in, we saw how quickly the president and the Congress turned around a much needed COVID relief package that will result in dollars that will help people with food, with rent, to keep their businesses open, and to give us that boost we need as we begin this recovery stage.
You have so many initiatives you want to work on, particularly with regard to climate change and keeping our lakes and waterways clean and all that kind of stuff. How do you keep doing that coming out of the pandemic and still kind of make sure you keep our the county portion of the property taxes down anyway?
Yeah. Well, you know, the good news is that it's not an either or, right? It's not do we protect the environment or create jobs. For example, when we look at our climate change work, our clean energy work, I partnered with MG&E to create a 60-acre solar field out on some of our airport property, over 35,000 solar panels. And we said to MG&E, if we will lease you this land, so they pay us market rate, if you build this solar facility, we promise to buy all the electricity. So it cost taxpayers $0. MG&E bought the facility, and because the cost of solar has come down so much in the last few years, Dane County taxpayers this year will save $140,000 on our electric bill because that's how much cheaper that renewable energy is. So it's really not an either or anymore. It's if we can follow our values and do it in a manner that protects the earth for generations to come and saves tax dollars and creates jobs.
As you look ahead 4 years from now, if you were to be reelected, what are your hopes?
You know, I'm very confident about where we're going to be 3 or 4 years from now. My hope and what I want to focus on is making sure that everything Dane County has to offer is available to everyone who lives here, because I think income inequality and disparities are one of our greatest challenges that we face moving forward, because there's so much that's good about Dane County and about living here. And I think it needs to be our goal to make sure that everyone has access to the opportunity to succeed.
And a reminder that the election is just over a week and a half away on April 6th. That's this week's edition of For the Record. Enjoy.